Before this video begins, I'd just like to give my prayers and condolences to everyone in Turkey and Syria. If you guys don't know, there was a big earthquake that recently struck there, one of the largest in recent times, and over 5,000 are already confirmed dead. So if you guys are able to obviously donate, if you can't, ask your parents and stuff, go donate. I believe it's our job as YouTubers, even if we don't have a big audience, to inform everyone. So yeah, if you guys are able to do that, go do that. That'd be great, and enjoy the video. KSI versus Jake Paul. Quite literally what is set to be probably the biggest matchup in boxing within these last 3 years, which is honestly kind of sad to say considering these guys a few years ago were out just recording videos, Jake being on Vine and on Disney Channel, and of course KSI just being KSI and making FIFA videos and making a bunch of silly skits with the Sidemen. And KSI and Jake Paul are quite big names, so I figured, well, why not talk about it? So yeah, my honest truth on this fight is this fight is quite literally a 50-50 match at this point. I don't know. I really don't know. At this point, either one of them could win this fight and I'd be satisfied. Of course, I will always root for the underdog, and at this point in time right now, I do believe that KSI is the underdog going into this fight. The reason why I choose KSI to be the underdog right now is obviously due to the lack of opponents that KSI's faced compared to Jake. Jake's repertoire and portfolio, you have huge names in the MMA community such as Anderson Silva and Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren. So obviously, Jake can use that to his advantage, saying, oh, I fought some MMA guys, they're great fighters, they've had that experience, they've had everything. And then obviously you go to JJ's opponents. Obviously, of course, the most memorable is Logan Paul. It's always going to be the most memorable opponent until he fights Jake. And then you had people like Joe Weller, who was, just one of those beginner YouTuber fighters. And then you had, Swarms, Pineda, and now Face Temper, who I would say actually is a little bit underrated in terms of boxing ability, but also I think Face Temper is properly rated more so. I'd say Jake just had tougher fights already, so everyone's sort of leaning more into Jake Paul in this fight than KSI. The reason I say this fight could go 50-50 is because of their most recent fights that are coming up right now, or so I should say maybe recent fights, because obviously KSI's next opponent hasn't been announced quite yet. KSI's next opponent hasn't been announced yet, but everyone is saying George Fournier. And if it is Joe Fournier, my bad, who, if he does fight, would quite literally flip the odds, I'd say, or kind of make them a little closer than what everyone else is saying. Because right now, everyone else is saying that if KSI steps in the ring with Jake Paul, he's going to get knocked out. Joe Fournier has held an actual title before, whether obviously it wasn't a world title. I believe it was just an international title, but none of the fighters that Jake Paul fought has sold any boxing title or anything related to boxing before. It's looking back at Jake's fights where you really start seeing Jake struggle quite a little bit with people that are coming forward constantly and putting on pressure, that are constantly throwing and matching him in terms of output. Of course, everyone argues that Jake is the best back-footed fighter probably in the YouTube boxing scene right now, which obviously I'd have to say, yeah, he is, because everyone he fights always constantly pressures him and puts him on the back foot. So Jake right now, in terms of the boxing experience, just out-edges KSI just a little bit. Actually, I take that back. He quite out-edges KSI in a huge margin. But like I was saying, with that George Fournier fight, that could be huge for KSI, and I believe he needs that fight. That fight would be... I think the biggest thing that people are ignoring is the fact that KSI is still young. He's literally in his 30s and his prime years in terms of physical ability and his mentality too. KSI is not going to be training like Tyron Woodley is training. KSI is literally training to be the best. Like, KSI literally wants to fucking de-head Jake Paul. That's how much he hates him. I just think that in terms of youth and just overall conditioning and just mentality, I think he just out-edges everyone that Jake has fought previously. I do believe that if KSI fought Anderson Silva, that one of KSI's right hands hit Silva clean. I don't know what would happen exactly, but I think it would absolutely hurt Anderson Silva like crazy. And then seeing how Jake Paul was just wobbled by, like, obviously it was a good right hand by Woodley, but I would say that KSI's right hands are more dangerous in boxing than Woodley's right hands are. And that wobbled Jake almost falling out of the ring. Yeah, I don't know, man. This fight it's a 50-50. We would have to wait and see what these next few fights for them are. I know they said they both wanted to fight 3 times this year, and obviously Jake and KSI are already down to the first fights, with Jake fighting Fury next month, I believe, and then obviously with the Face Semper fight for KSI. That leaves 2 more fights, and I absolutely mean this. KSI, please, just fight Joe Fournier, please. Yeah, I think that'd be huge help for KSI in terms of the betting odds, and if he knocks out Joe Fournier in absolute fashion like he did with Face Temper, I do believe it's gonna be like, oh shit, this guy can actually really fight good, or you know, actually has a big chance of beating Jake Paul, because right now everyone's leaning more towards Jake. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is an interesting topic. Obviously, that's just what I think. That's my honest truth about this fight. And obviously, if Jake beats Tommy Fury in absolute fashion, everyone's gonna be like, oh shit, Jake is actually starting to become like a legit fighter. Neither of them are gonna have an easy night that night. Obviously, someone's gonna be leaving that ring absolutely torn. That's what I think. That's my honest truth on this. Obviously, you guys can completely disagree with me. That's fine. It's your opinion. Yeah, obviously, I love doing this, you guys. This is something I've grown up doing, making YouTube videos. I love making YouTube videos. I love watching YouTube videos. I love watching boxing, which is why I decided, screw it, I'm gonna cover this. Might as well, YouTube boxing scene. And if you guys could please just subscribe. I know a big part of you guys aren't subscribed to watch a video. It was like 90% or something like that. So if you guys could hit that subscribe button, that'll help me a ton. And like I said, you guys don't have to agree with me in anything. This is my personal opinion. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, great night whenever you guys watching this. Subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.